Hey, this is Robin Waters for Tech.eu. I'm here at the Dublin Web Summit. I'm here with Ciarán O'Leary from Earlybird VC. Can you briefly tell us a little bit more about Earlybird?
Sure, we're based in Berlin, but we also have offices now in Istanbul and Munich, and we invest all across Europe in seed and sort of Series A. We really like European businesses that can go global, that are very ambitious, that are original, and that are kind of marketplaces, communities, and networks, and that kind of stuff.
What's the size of the fund?
So we are currently investing around 300 million euros across 2 active funds. It's complicated.
So aside from being an investor, you're also something of a blogger. You've written a number of posts that I think are very, very insightful, especially about Berlin, where you're based. Your last post was about the third wave of Berlin startups. Can you briefly touch upon that?
Sure. I kind of use Berlin as an example, but I actually think it's happening across Europe. The ecosystem is maturing, so you have people with more experience. You also have more developers spinning out, so the whole ecosystem is kind of geeking up. The first wave was business students building pretty linear companies, maybe even copying American companies. The second wave was more international founders, with also some more international VCs building more international businesses, but very consumer also, relatively linear. And the third wave is just very more technological, more enterprise, more geeky. So I'm excited about that one also.
Right. So you mentioned international VCs. Something we talked about earlier was the fact that you see US investors investing a lot more in European startups than they used to. Is that a trend that you think will continue, and why?
Yeah, absolutely. I think 2 reasons. One, the quantity and quality of startups here is growing exponentially, and secondly, the US is overvalued. And actually, maybe a third reason, there's lots of liquidity in the US that needs to go places. So now, especially the more later stage Series B and onwards funds are really rediscovering Europe, but they're also coming down the stack. Now, it's fantastic for the ecosystem because now we can really equip companies with enough cash to build very, very large enterprises. However, what it also means for the European VCs is that they need to up their game to stay competitive, because the benchmarks in Europe used to be pretty low in terms of quality of venture capital, but now if you're competing against a Union Square or some other funds for kind of a late Series A deal, you have to be on top of your game, and that's healthy for everybody.
So the quality of the startups going up, but the benchmarks for the VCs to invest are also going up.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and that's a good thing. We have too little competition in Europe, and bad things happen when you don't have competition.
Very interesting. And so one of the things we also talked about earlier before this interview was something that we both agree on is the fact that there aren't competing ecosystems in Europe. There are multiple sectors that are stronger in certain hubs or certain regions, but essentially founders move, investors invest all over the place, so you can really start talking about a coherent European startup ecosystem rather than a bunch of different ones. So how do you see that developing?
I fully agree. I think it's really, really stupid and silly to fall back into that European pattern of saying, oh, Berlin is better than Stockholm and London is better than Stockholm and whatever. If you think about it, taking a flight between these ecosystems, even door to door, is often shorter than taking a ride on a Monday morning from San Francisco to San Jose. And that's viewed as one ecosystem. So why can't we? Why can't London be a Sand Road of Europe? Do we really need all these local funds everywhere? I don't think so. If you look at Berlin, it's attracted over the last quarters, I think, the most venture capital in Europe, yet there's only 2 funds based there. So clearly capital is super mobile. Berlin's flagship company, SoundCloud, was Swedish founders, and investors from all over the place. So I think we really, in our minds, need to embrace this mindset that it's one ecosystem, and both on the capital side and founder side, and we should be embracing that and playing on that strength instead of falling back into that my ecosystem is better than yours.
Understood. So these are the positives. What are some of the problems that you think the European startup ecosystem will face in the next 2-3 years?
I'm probably very romantic. I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of problems. I think some of the more emerging ecosystems, especially the Berlin ecosystem, the first wave, so the whole e-commerce copycats, they've had their exits, billions and billions, so they've done well. I think the second wave, which is, the SoundClouds and the Wunderkinders and ResearchGates and all these people, they will have to show that they can build sustainable large companies and that IPO and exit. So I think that's something that ecosystem has to master. And then we have to nail growing more European high quality venture capital funds, so it doesn't just all, because the Americans, they'll leave again. That's just going to happen. Yeah, it's cyclical. So we need to make sure that a next generation of venture funds comes along. But you're seeing first good signs like Mosaic in London and a couple of other people. So I'm optimistic.
Very good. On that note, thank you very much, Ciaran, for your time, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.